engine. So you can kind of feel a little gentle vibration, and you're a mechanical guy. So the reason is 7-cylinder engines, if you did the math on the timing and everything, there's a little bit of what they call they do not have firing overlap. So there's a split second in the firing sequence where nothing's happening, and you get that little gentle rumble. If you added 2 more cylinders to the equation and had a 9-cylinder engine, it'd be like a Singer sewing machine. It'd be super, super smooth. It's pretty cool, yeah. Okay, again, my name is Rob. Back here, I'm your co-pilot. Go ahead and put your feet on those pedals down there and grab that stick. What we're going to do here today is we're going to do our pre-takeoff checklist. We want to make sure everything works like it's supposed to before we even think about flying it. So what we're going to do here today is we're going to use the word cigar, C-I-G-A-R. Every letter means something as an acronym. So C means controls. So like you did before, I want you to move that stick to the left, to the right, front to the back, and when you're doing that, yeah, make sure the ailerons move. Looks like they're moving. Check your elevator back behind you. Is that working okay?
Yep.
And then check your rudder pedals. If something doesn't work, let's figure it out right now.
Yep.
Everything good?
Looks good.
Cool. Next letter in the word cigar, I, instruments. Top row on the left is your altimeter. Now I can look over your left shoulder. It's not where I want it. I want it at 0, so we know exactly where the ground is.
Right.
There's a little knob associated with that. Move that little knob until both those needles are right up at 0. There you go. Perfect. All we care about is how high above the ground we are. Next in line is airspeed, just about straight up at 0. And then that little black ball, 2 little white lines, looks like it's out to the left a little bit.
It is.
But once we start rolling, it'll come back right in the middle. It has to. It's centrifugal force, gravity. Do not worry about the rest of the stuff. This is your first official flight lesson. So I'll take care of the engine for you today. If I had you do it, to be honest with you, Phil, I know you drive heavy equipment, but it's called sensory overload.
Oh, no, I can understand that.
Yeah, let's learn how to fly it today. We'll worry about the engine next time. G is gasoline in the word cigar. Do we have enough gas to fly? Very, very important question. The fuel gauge is right above your head. See that little glass tube?
Yeah.
And if I move the airplane around, you'll see that little bobber maybe move. It's got a full tank of fuel in it. Yeah, it's full. Okay. Each quarter tank is an hour of flight time. So we have 3 hours and some change. You notice those little red circles and red letters. Red means fuel. So look inside the cockpit by your left knee. There's a little red ball that I'm moving. That's mixture, fuel. The higher you go, the less dense the air is, the less fuel you need. So we're not going very high, so we want that all the way forward. And then right ahead of that, there's a little red arrow that says on-off, fuel valve. There's some times when I have to do engine maintenance to this thing, and I have to be able to turn the fuel off to check the fuel filter, so we have that. And that's the easy way of saying if we have an engine fire, we want to be able to turn that fuel valve off.
Gotcha.
A's, accessories, elevator trim tab. Don't worry about that for now. I'll set that for takeoff. And then the last letter is R, and that's run up. And we'll check our engine out by the runway. So at least for now, the airplane is airworthy. All the major pieces are still on it. I flew it this morning, by the way, so I know it's going to fly. So if you don't mind, just hold on to that stick for me and have your feet on the floor, and I'm going to add some power. We're going to taxi on out. Boeing Stearman. Really cool. Oh, the whole open cockpit deal is, you'll love it.
Yeah, that is neat.
Because, we all, even up in Pittsburgh, we all want like a Corvette that's a convertible or a Mustang. We want a convertible something.
Right.
That, think we're cool in the summertime, and this is cool all the time.
What year is this plane?
42, January 1942. So if you think about history, World War II had been going for a month and a half when this thing was built.
Right. So the biplane makes it easier to fly, I would assume. That's why it's a biplane.
Think about this. The new order, the military was looking for a new trainer in 1934, okay? So it took a couple of years until the airplanes were manufactured to compete against each other. So in 1934, the biplane was still the king, right? But by 1936 or 1937, monoplanes were beginning to come on the scene. And the neat thing about the biplane is it's slow. So if you want to teach a bunch of kids how to fly a plane, you don't want to go 200 miles an hour. It's like NASCAR. You got to start with the slow stuff to figure out how to fly it, rather than going too fast is not going to be helpful.
Right.
So I'm going to turn this thing around here. Oh, and by the way, it was built by Boeing. They're still in business, if you don't know that. They build really good planes.
Yeah.
All right. You can see as you look down the runway, there's your windsock right there. You see that orange thing?
Yep.
The wind is blowing just about, maybe a little bit left or right crosswind, not much. All right, so let's get this thing straight down here. Okay, that's about straight there. All right, so back on our checklist, we've done everything that we need to do with the exception of our engine check. We have not checked our engine. That's obviously the most important thing. My oil pressure and temperature is actually where it's warm enough to do this. So what I want you to do is bring the stick all the way back to your lap, like you're doing a loop. There you go. I'm going to gently bring the power forward. Check my ignition system. And that is like the keys to the car is at that little black lever on the far left-hand side of the panel. Those are my right mag, that's fine. Back to both, over to left. If you turn it off, it does that. So we don't want it off. But by turning it off, we know that the mag switch actually works like it's supposed to. And the airplane's ready to go. Are you ready to go?
I am ready.
All right, so here's what I got for you. We're going to take off. I'm going to have you hold on to the stick. I want you to feel what I do. Next year, when your family's going to Dolphin Cove, if you want to come back here and fly this Stearman again, I'm actually going to have you do the takeoff on your own.
Okay.
But I want you to feel what I'm doing.
All right.
But I don't want your feet on the pedals for important reason. On the tops of the pedals, that's where the brakes are.
Okay.
All right, so if you accidentally get on the brakes, we're going to flip upside down.
Okay.
We don't want that,
No.
because we'll be on the news tonight. Your wife will be pissed off. So the idea is, as soon as we get off the ground, that's where we're safe, because the airplane is going to be safe in the air. As soon as we get off the ground, I'm going to have you come on put your feet on the pedals. Phil, we're going to do 2 turns together, one to the left and one to the right. And once you see how this thing turns, then I'm going to have you go from there. You see those wires that are directly in front of your face about 3 feet?
Yep.
They go up on an angle. That's 45 degrees right now to the horizon. So we're going to be using those wires today as a kind of a reference point. You're a big, strong guy, all right? So when we do these first 2 turns, a lot of times people have a death grip on the stick, right? Not what you want. Because
Gotcha.
what'll happen is, I know you're left-handed as well, I'm ambidextrous, but your hand's going to cramp. So you want to hold a really loose grip on the stick and feel what I do, and then you'll go from there. The last thing you want to do is fly this thing with 2 hands on the stick, because you're going to over-control it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I was going to ask you that.
You don't want you want to hold the stick like it's a Coke,
Okay.
because if you squeeze the aluminum can too much, it's going to go all over the place.
Right.
Let me check the runway and make sure there's no gators. That is actually a concern here.
Is it really?
Yeah, we've hit one. I hit one once.
Really?
Yeah, he was mad. So, let me look over your right shoulder. Yep, I don't see any gators down there, deer or anything. So the idea is we're going to look straight ahead, and we focus on infinity. And when we do so, you can see these little white runway markers going by. You'll see them. Like right now, we're about in the middle of the runway.
Right.
Sticks in neutral. That's where we want it. We bring the power on in. That's full bore right there. So the airplane's speeding up on its own. The tail's starting to get light. The tail's coming off the ground, which means it's ready to fly. We just gently bring the stick back and we're in the air. It's not a big deal, right? Yeah, go fast, pull back. It's pretty simple. Phil, go ahead and put your feet on the pedals. You want your heels on the floorboards, okay? Heels on the floorboards. And we're going to climb straight ahead. We want to climb at about 75 to 80 miles an hour. If you look at your airspeed indicator, that's about what we got right now. It's no ball of fire on the climb level. It's a trainer, you know. It's like a Pinto, Ford Pinto. This is kind of, we got an air show smoke too. Check this out. Look out to your right. They think we're on fire.
Oh, wow.
Cool. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is a left-hand turn together. So what I want you to do is ease the stick to your left. She's going to roll to the left. You get the angle of bank that you want. You bring the stick back to neutral. Good. Now look at that little black ball in your instrument panel. See how that ball's in the middle?
I do.
It tells you how much rudder pedal pressure to use. Okay. So the ball's in the middle, so that's telling you that you don't need to use any. And around we come. Now as you look here, you're going to see a red, white checkerboard water tower at Fantasy of Flight. Okay. If you keep looking to your left, you're going to see a red, white cell tower with a little flashing light on the top. You should see it here in a sec. I want you to head over towards that. You see it there?
Okay, I see it there.
When we keep going over towards that, we're going to roll the wings back to level.
Okay.
Good. So ease the stick to your right. When the wings are level, stick back to neutral. Pretty simple.
Yes,
good. Cool. All right, we're going to cross over our runway down below. Once we cross over, we're going to make a right-hand turn. Okay. All right, Phil, let's try that now. So you ease the stick to your right. She's going to roll to your right. You get the angle of bank that you want. Stick to neutral. Good. Now look at that little black ball.
Okay.
See how it's out to the right?
I do.
Push forward on the right pedal until that ball comes back to the middle. That little black ball tells you how much rudder pedal pressure to use in a turn.
Okay.
If you forget which pedal to press, just remember this. Step on the ball. If it's out to the right, right rudder.
Okay.
All right, let's go ahead and roll the wings back to level. If you check me out in the mirror, you got it, right?
I got it.
All right. Let's make a left-hand turn, Phil. Let's go north. Man, you woke up this morning, had no idea you'd be flying a Stearman today.
Not at all.
Bring that nose up a little bit more, and what I want you to do here is, there's a big old grassy area. You'll see it once we get up a little higher. We're going to go out that way. Good. Right about here, we'll roll the wings to level. Now, if you put yourself in the mindset that it's 1943 or 44, you're 18 years old, you learn how to fly, you can see why this is such a great trainer, because it's simple to fly.
Boy, the wind will push her on a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. And what it is those little bumps you get, the sun is heating the Earth's surface at a different rate, right? So the air that's over, like, black asphalt is going to warm up at a different rate than over water. And so you get, as we know from the science class, hot air rises. So you get little columns of air that rise because they're warm, but they rise at different rates. And so that's what those little bumps are. And so you just fly through columns of air. It's not really a big deal. Now, a lot of the maneuvers that we're going to be doing today, they're called ground reference maneuvers. You see this road off your right?
Yep. That's
north and south. I want you to cross over the top of that road, make a right-hand turn, follow that road to the north. Man, it's nice up here today.
It is.
So, by following this road, you know which direction you're going. You're going back towards home. Good. Cool. Now, look over off your left. It's kind of hard to see because there's a shadow of a cloud, but right there's a tree line or a fence line. You see it there off your left?
Do.
That's east and west.
Okay.
Let's make a left-hand turn. Let's go to the west. On this one, you're not going to need to use any left rudder.
Wow, that's amazing how easy you turn something.
Yeah, exactly. And if you can't see that over there, there's a bunch of, these are called section lines, they're property lines. There's fence lines all over the place.
Okay.
Good. So now we're going to the west. Very nice. Let's make another right-hand turn. Let's go back to the north. Now you can see why I like to fly out here.
Yeah.
It's all flat, all open. I can land anywhere out here and be safe.
Right.
And that makes me sleep good at night. If I was flying around where you live, sleepless nights. Trees and mountains. Good. Let's make another left-hand turn.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Wow.
Let's keep on climbing. I want you to go up another 100 or so feet. Let's go to 1,000 feet. So when the long needle is pointing to the number 0, At that point, we'll lower the nose to level flight.
Yeah, see, we're down to 75 miles an hour. Is that too
That's
much
fine.
climb?
It climbs at about 75. 75 to 80 is its best climb speed.
Okay.
And you know, another good reason why we should be looking outside the airplane, traffic.
Okay.
You notice I'm not talking to air traffic control or anything, but most of the time when you see airplanes are a lot higher than 1,000 feet above the ground. Okay, awesome. I'm going to bring the power back a little bit. Not so loud. Phil, here's our lesson. Those wires that are right ahead of you, those are 45 degrees. I mentioned that on the ground.
Okay.
Right now you're heading to the west. What I want you to do is a 30-degree angle of bank turn to your left. You got to guess. And let's do a 180. So the horizon's level, 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 30. Good. Stick to neutral. And then there's your section line. Right here, you can see there's a fence line there. That's north-south. That would be 90 degrees. We want to go back to the east. There's your section line right there. This is going to be pretty important a little bit later on in our flight. When you get right over the top of that fence, we're going to roll the wings to level. Oh, by the way, you'll never forget today.
No, well, I will not.
Awesome. Let's try one to your right. Same deal, but you got to push on that right rudder. Same deal, 30 degrees, 10, 20, 30. Get that ball in the middle. There you go. Just like that. And then we look back outside the airplane. You can see our fence lines. If you get lost, there's like one right down here. That's east and west. Or there's that one right there. That's a pretty prominent one there in east and west. So far, so good?
Oh, I love it.
Okay, good. All right, we'll roll the wings back to level. Let's focus again on that wire, those wires ahead of you. 45 degrees. Let's do a 360-degree turn, big circle in the sky, 45-degree angle of bank. So put that left wire parallel to the horizon and a little bit above the horizon. Boom, right there. Hold that right there. Good. Look to your left. Crazy,
wow.
right? That's 90 degrees. Let's 180. Keep it going left. We're going to do a 360.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good.
I think we're doing 180.
And the reason why I want you to do a 180 is because to get your private pilot's license in this day and age, this is one of the maneuvers you have to do right here. Yeah, and you're doing it like 5 minutes into your first flight. Awesome. Great job. Let's roll out of this. Let's try one to your right. 360 right. 45-degree angle of bank. Add that right rudder. Good. That's 90 degrees. There's your little fence line right there. This will be 180.
Okay.
Disney right over the nose. See all those buildings up there on the horizon? That's Disney. That's halfway done. Now keep that right rudder in. There you go. $270 degrees is there. .360 here. We'll roll back to level. That's how you make a turn. Are you having fun? Yeah, you are. Look at you up there smiling away. Well, if you thought that was fun, wait till you do this next maneuver. It's called a lazy 8. Think about World War II. Let's say you're a P-51 pilot and you're going to dogfight a German Me-109. If you have to look at gauges to know what your Mustang is doing, you're going to die. So the idea behind doing this next maneuver is learn how to fly the airplane by sound. Just by sound alone, you're going to know what she's doing, okay? I'm going to come on the controls with you. We're going to do half of the lazy 8 together. I'll show you how to do it. So stay with me. Here I am. All right. We look at our airspeed indicator. We're going about 80, 85. That's good. 10-degree angle of bank. The shallower, the better. That's about 10 degrees right there. Then we're going to bring the nose up. So right about here, you're on a climbing turn. We freeze the stick right here. We don't move it at all. You can hear the RPM decrease as it goes uphill. Right now, gravity is pulling the nose through the horizon on its own. Now listen to the airplane. There's 70, 80, 85, 90. You hear the whistle? There's 100 miles an hour, 105. We roll the wings to the right, bring the nose up, and you go in the other direction. Now, in your mind, you're like, that was cool. I don't know what just happened because I really didn't feel you move much.
Right.
But I'll talk you through it. I know that just by looking at your expression that you were comfortable with that. All right. Airspeed looks good, 85. 10 degrees to your left. And then stick back to neutral. Good. Bring the nose up. Up some more. Hold it right there. Look over your left shoulder. They call these lazy eights. Slow over the top. The airplane, let the airplane speed up going downhill. Listen to it. 70, 75 to 80, 85, 90. Start rolling it right. And then bring the nose up. Let's go up a little higher. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're learning how to fly the airplane by sound. Once you know what the airplane is doing by sound, you never have to look at an airspeed indicator again because the airplane's always talking to you. Okay, what we'll do next is we're going to do one of those to the right. The only difference here is you got to add some right rudder over the top, okay? Lower that nose. Let's go a little faster. There's 75. There's 80. Okay, 10 degrees to your right. Stick to neutral. Bring the nose up. Up some more. Hold that stick right there. Now push on that right rudder. A little bit more right rudder, right rudder. There we go. Good. Start rolling it left and bring the nose up. Pretty cool?
It is very cool.
Let's go up a little higher.
I feel like I'm being a little cautious, but I just...
You're fine. You just work. I want you to stay comfortable.
Right.
Because the more of those little lazy eights that you do, the steeper you can do them to the point where you can go straight up and straight down with them. It's pretty cool. But we don't want to do that now because it'll scare you. Okay, so here's what's next. We want one of those to the left, followed by one of those to the right. No stopping in between the two. I'll coach you through it. You're going to do just fine. There's no one around you. Let's go a little faster, so lower the nose. There's 75, there's 80 miles an hour, there's about 85, 10 degrees to your left, bring the nose up. Up some more. Yeah, there you go. Now you're aggressive. Look over, you're about straight up right here. Look over your left shoulder. Look at that. Isn't that cool? That's better than any ride at Disney. Awesome. We're going downhill, start rolling it right, and bring the nose up. Shallow turn to your right, 10 degrees right, and up. Up some more. Up, 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 up. There you go. Push on that right rudder. Enjoy the view. Downhill you fly. Back left, and bring the nose up. You'll pull some cheese here too, by the way.
Boy, it does.
Wow. And that's a lazy eight.
That is awesome.
So, what do you think so far? Does it fly like you thought it was going to fly? Is it better? Is it worse?
I guess it's easier than I thought it was going to be.
Thank you for saying that. Everybody thinks that it's going to be hard to fly a plane, but you're flying a trainer. I mean, how hard can it be? Let's do a 180-degree turn to the left or to the right, your choice.
We'll try right.
Try right.
Should I be aiming up a little bit or down? Or
yeah, actually, you're doing good. You're climbing back up. I want you to climb up to 1,000 feet, so just keep it going right. All right, so what we got next is wings back to level. This is a good direction for now. Airspeed right about where it's at, 75 to 80. And we're going to climb up to 1,000 feet. At this point of the flight field, you probably trust me and say the big tall guy's not going to do anything crazy. So what's next is we're going to learn how to stall the airplane. You got to trust me because it's scary. You know, just the word stall scares you. You're like, oh, that means the engine's going to quit. No, that doesn't mean that. It means we can only slow the airplane down so much. This is plenty high. So what I want you to do is just do your best to keep the wings level. That will not be hard for you. You're doing great. I'm going to gently bring the power back because it's loud, and I want you to listen to the airplane. Now, gently lower the nose. Put it into a dive. There you go. Now tell me when you can hear the whistle of the wind in the wires.
I can hear it now.
Can you hear that? So there's 75, there's 80. Bring it back to level flight. There's 90, almost 90, 85. Now listen to it. You hear it slowing down?
I do.
Bring the nose up some more. Listen to it. Pretty quiet, isn't it?
Yeah, really quiet.
Now don't move the stick at all. The airplane's right now it's saying, hey Phil, we're going too slow. If you won't lower my nose, I'm going to do it for you. Now what's happening is the airplane's going downhill. You can hear the airplane speeding on up, and look what just happened. The nose just came up to level flight. So as long as you have enough altitude, if you stall the airplane, not a big deal. It self-corrects. That's how you fly a plane. That's left, right, up and down, fast and slow. Let's make a 180 to your left. And lower that nose a little bit. We do want to climb back up, but we want to climb up with a little bit more speed. There you go.
Now it seems like it didn't really want to turn left there. Was that the wind or?
Yeah, the wind, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, it didn't seem like it's bad. It was different.
We got into some bumps. Oh, you can feel them right now.
Are we going 180?
Yeah, we're going to go on the south side, on the other side of this main road here. You can see why there's houses here.
Yeah.
There's nothing down there.
Right.
And let's go up a little higher. So you've learned the basics of how to fly a plane. We have about 10 minutes left to go before we have to head back towards Fantasy of Flight. This is your opportunity, Phil, to have some fun. So go ahead and lower that nose. We're plenty high, 800 feet above the ground. What was your favorite maneuver we've done so far today?
Oh, lazy 8.
Oh, I thought so. Let's go up a little higher. We'll try one more.
Okay.
Or a couple more. You have plenty of time. Yeah, so add a look at the little black ball. See the ball's way out to the right?
Oh,
yeah, push forward. And the reason is because you're climbing and I added power. So like right now, you got the nose up really steep. But if you look at the top right instrument, it says we're actually going downhill. That's your vertical. So lower that nose a little bit. You got to climb. If you want to climb, you got to climb with airspeed. Okay, now hold it right there. Now watch your airspeed indicator. There's about 70. Now watch that top right little needle. It'll start coming up.
Okay.
So just because I say let's climb, that doesn't mean pull the stick back.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Because when I say let's climb, a lot of people will just pull the stick back.
Right.
And then the airplane climbs initially, then it slows down and stops climbing. Okay, we're plenty high. Let's go ahead and level the airplane. A little bit more. Lower that nose. Get yourself some more airspeed. There you go. Okay, Phil. I don't see any aircraft around you. I do see one. You see the one right over here?
I do, yeah.
So let's do one of these lazy 8s to your left. So shadow turn, bring the nose up. And we got some birds right there. Here's some air show smoke. Maybe the birds will see us coming. Good. And then we're going downhill, start rolling it right, and bring the nose up. Up you go. Up some more, up some more, up some more. And then right rudder over the top.
Oh, okay, I wasn't working on that.
Yeah, right rudder, right rudder, right rudder. There you go. What you don't want to do is go left rudder over the top. That's the wrong way. And then back to your left. And then this airplane will be a hit to your right. You see him?
I do.
So lower the nose. He's coming towards us.
Okay, I see it now, yeah.
That's a Cessna 150. All right, let's try that. Our lazy 8 to your left. Shadow turn, bring the nose up. Up some more. There you go. Bring the nose up some more, Phil. Come on back some more. There you go. Look at this. See the difference? It's really slow over the top. The guys in the Cessna wish they were you. Back to your right and bring the nose up. Shadow turn, up you go. We'll finish off one more. So let me ask you this. In WW2, World War II, you would have been expected to solo this airplane in between 8 and 12 hours of instruction. You think you could do that?
Boy, I don't know.
You've been flying it now for 20 minutes. What do you think?
I don't know. I guess you probably could.
How about you? Do you think you could do it?
I probably could. I don't know, boy, that's hard to say.
Have you ever met a pilot without an ego? We all got egos because we all think we're the best pilots since Chuck Yeager, right?
Right.
You're supposed to say, oh, yeah, I could easily do that. I could easily do that. All right, let's try this. I'm going to test you. Let's do another one of those 360s. When you start at a 45-degree angle, when you start the 360, I'll give you some air show smoke. If you make a level turn in the sky, you should fly right through your smoke. All right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, let's try it. Left or right, your choice.
I'll do left.
Do left. Wire parallel and above the horizon, smoke on now. There's your marker. So here we go. I'm not going to tell you what to do here. But I will say, when you do this to get your license, the FAA allows you to go up or down 100 feet.
Okay.
All right, that's your rate of your error. Amount of air allowed. Anybody see any smoke?
There it is.
I believe we can call that a level turn in the sky, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, good, very good. Awesome. Right through it. Let's try one to your right. Same deal.
That's going to be tough for me. I struggle with the rudder.
I know. We'll work on that.
Okay, right.
All right, here we go. Do the same thing you did. Smoke on now. There's your marker. Just right, just step on the ball. There you go.
Going down.
See it?
Yeah, got a little high, huh?
That we gained about, I don't know, 50 feet on that one, but that still is within your margin of error, so that passes on your check ride. And you've been flying now for 22 minutes. It is not a big deal, right?
No.
It is not a big deal. Let me ask you this, tell me about the stall. Were you okay with that?
Oh, yeah.
All right. In the real world, would that really happen? Not really, because either you got power or you don't. Let's simulate this. Let's simulate about 15 minutes ago, and I say, hey, Phil, we need to go up a little higher. So you bring the nose up. So bring the nose up. Don't worry about this speed. Bring the nose up some more. Up some more. There you go. Let's see what the airplane's going to do with a power on stall. So you can kind of feel it's kind of waffling around here, and there's the power on stall right there. It's really not a big deal.
No, that was not at all.
Yeah, but the word stall scares people.
It does.
Let's make a right-hand turn. Let's go this way. So power on stall, not a big deal. We did a partial power on stall, roll the wings to level here. Feel this is a power off stall. So when we learn how to land the airplane, you got to basically do the same thing. I'm going to gently bring the power back. So at this point, you are a glider, right? Good, so start bringing the nose up. Up some more. Up, 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 up. Come on, back on the stick. There you go. Come on, keep coming back.
Oh, really?
Listen to how quiet it is, and then there's your stall.
Oh, wow.
And it falls a little bit, and then the nose comes right back up.
Right back up.
Yeah. So you got the deluxe flight lesson today, 3 stalls.
Right.
So I know you're glad you did this today, huh?
I'm sorry?
I know you are glad you took your flight lesson today.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a beautiful day. So, Fantasy of Flight, I got an idea. Fantasy of Flight is directly ahead of you. And let's go a little bit more to your left.
Left?
Yeah, we're going to go around the town here because we're a little low. There you go. We'll roll the wings to level here. So you see the red and white checkerboard water tower over there off your right wing?
I do.
We're going to go around the tower, around the red and white tower with the flashing light. So now we can start making a right-hand turn.
So we need to come in on the other side of that tower, right?
Yeah, this is a good heading right here. We can roll the wings back to level. So here's what's next. We did those 30-degree angle of bank turns up at altitude for a reason. And the reason is in the pattern, That's what I want you to do. All right? We don't want to, I know you like the steep turns, and you did those well, but we don't want them in the pattern because the steeper your angle of bank, the higher your stall speed. So if you crank into a really steep turn, your stall speed goes higher. We don't want that low to the ground. So the shallower really the better. We want to maintain airspeed of at least 75 miles an hour in the pattern because we don't want to allow the airplane to stall. Pretty simple. Now, fantasy of fly, what we got, we have the long runway. That's the runway we took off from. It goes from the museum all the way to I-4 down there. But we're going to land on a different runway. If you look, there's another runway from this lake to the other lake. It's hard to see because it's grass, but you'll see it once you line up with it. You see it? Okay.
We're gonna be landing 180 degrees from where we're at right now.
Actually, we're gonna be landing the same direction we're going. We're gonna do a 180 out here, and then we're gonna make a big rectangle in the sky, and we're gonna land that way. You can look at the wind on the water. You can see it's actually favoring, or you actually look at the smoke. You can see which way the wind's blowing. All right. So we're at 800 feet, so you can lower the nose a little bit. That's the altitude we want on our pattern. And let's make a 30-degree angle of bank turn to your right, and we'll do a 180 out here.
See a plane up here ahead of us.
Oh, I do, yeah. So this is going to be 90 degrees. The cool thing is they can't land here. We can.
Okay.
And basically, all right, so here's what we got. You're just about parallel to that runway. Do you see it off your left wing? Good. We'll roll the wings to level here. We call this left downwind. We call it downwind because the wind's from behind us now. And we call it left because all your turns will be to the left. Let's go ahead and make a little bit of a left-hand turn here. Head out towards the middle of the lake and maintain at least 75 miles an hour. And you're going to be doing that by, there you go, lower that nose. All right, so keep your eye on that runway.
I see it there.
I'm gonna bring the power back. We're gonna start descending a little quicker. Lower that nose, there you go. Now, I was kind of harping on you earlier about listening to the airplane.
Yeah.
Like memorize the sound. Now you're going about 75, so lower that nose a little bit more. Don't let it get lower than 75.
This is the runway we're heading for, right?
Hey, perfect, yep. Don't hit the trees though. Get it lined up. So lower the nose, go to your right. Yeah, those trees are right there.
I see
it? Now you can start coming to your left.
Now that
Good.
is cool.
Lower the nose. Lower the nose. Use the stick forward. There you go. Use the stick forward.
Wow.
All right. I'll tell you what. I'm going to come on the controls here. So just have your feet on the floor. Now listen to this. Just like that stall that you did, right?
Right.
Oh, wow. And on the ground.
That was awesome.
That's why it's better than the T6.
Oh, wow.
You can have a lot of fun and not go upside down.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Wow.
Now what you see over here off your right, so let me kind of talk about this. That red and silver and yellow plane, that's called a BT-15, made by Bolt. That's the second airplane you would have flown in World War II. So the Stearman was first, then you'd go into that one. And that one you learn how to fly at night in bad weather and in formation. And then you go into the Texan, like over at the Kissimmee, then you fly that, the advanced trainer, and then the fighter. So you have that, well actually the T6 is right next to the BT. See, so you got the BT, you got the AT, and then the fighter. And the fighters are inside. Awesome job.
Oh, thank you. You did a heck of a job. That was an experience of a lifetime right there.
It's fun to fly, and being able to fly in this environment makes it, you know, much more enjoyable because the grass runway is it's safe. No one can land here. It's open fields. It's fabulous.
You know, I never would have realized the traffic issue, how close the other plane. I mean, it wasn't close, you know, but
usually you don't see guys like that because they're airplanes like Cessnas. They're a lot higher than You know, we were like at 800 feet.
Right.
Usually they're a lot higher. I rarely see guys out there. I was surprised.
Really? So the rudder also, does it move the tail wheel?
Yeah, the rudder's connected to the rudder, obviously, and the tail wheel. Okay. So yeah, that's how I'm steering it right here. Okay. We're going to go all the way to the left. I think I'm going to be okay there. Actually, I'm going to talk to my wife here for a sec. Can I park this? Can I park it? And then we'll bring the mixture back to lean. And that's our complete your mission.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
Great flight.